in today's video, I want to talk about customary marriage. Remember, in my previous video, I talked about the forms of marriages, the types of marriages we have in Nigeria. And I said that the Nigeria, as complex as it is, has different ethnic tribes, ethnic nationalities, making up different forms of traditions and religions, and even customs, different rites, different rituals. And I also said that out of the 774 local governments in Nigeria, different customs and traditions regulate their customs, and that is it. So I've spoken about the statutory form of marriage which we have in Nigeria. Today I'm speaking about customary marriage. Customary marriage is a marriage that is conducted in accordance with a particular ethnic group or a particular custom or tradition of that particular cultural group. It is recognized in many legal systems, and it often coexists with statutory marriage. So you can also have a customary marriage and also have a traditional statutory marriage along the line. So it doesn't matter. Both of them can coexist. So what are the key features? What are the key features of this form of marriage? What are the key features of this type of marriage? So number one, the most important key feature here is that it is governed by customs and traditions of a particular ethnic group. So a particular ethnic group has customs that govern this kind of marriage. The next point is it involves the consent of both families, sometimes even the communities. That consent of both families is required when it comes to this type of marriage. Then it requires also payment of bride price, or some people call it dowry. Very, very important. It also often requires traditional ceremonies, rituals, rites, demonstrations. In some cultures, there's usually dancing, celebration, eating, and the rest of it. So it depends on the custom. So that's a key feature of this marriage. Another key feature is that it can be polygamous, depending on the custom. Some customs will accept polygamy, but some customs don't. It depends on the custom where this marriage is going to be conducted. Then the next key feature is that there is supposed to be witnesses. Witnesses have to be available. So what are the legal requirements of this marriage? The legal requirements is that it is recognized by family law. This form of marriage is recognized by family law. In some cases, registration is required. You can register this form of marriage. There's no problem about registration. Then customary marriages have implications for property rights, inheritance, and divorce. These are the legal implications when it comes to customary marriage. When it comes to property rights or inheritance or divorce, when it comes to divorce, who gets what is also very, very important in this form of marriage. What are the requirements? We are looking at the requirements now of this type of marriage, this customary marriage. What are the requirements? Consent of both spouses is very, very important. Like I said, a consent of families is very important when it comes to this form of marriage. Then exchange of marriage consideration is also very important. That is, there has to be bride price or dowry, depending on what you call it. It's a consideration. Consideration is something valuable when it comes to this marriage. Then it has to comply with the particular tradition or ethnicity. Very, very important. Then there has to be traditional rights. Traditional rights in some cases, there's the celebration, there's dancing, there's eating, there's feasting, and the rest of it. So it depends on the custom. Another very important requirement is that cohabitation could be allowed. In some cases, the people, the spouses have to cohabit. That means they have to live together first. In fact, in some cultures, the woman has to even get pregnant before they do the customary marriage. But it depends on customs, it depends on tradition. So So it must not violate any of the customs. That means the people will not be marrying as blood relations. That is, they should not be related by blood. Maybe a brother and a sister or something. They cannot marry. It's usually a taboo for somebody to marry somebody of the same blood in many cultures, which I know of in Africa. So what are those rights? What are the rights of responsible in this marriage? What are the rights that are there in this marriage? The spouses have the legal right of mutual support. Together they can support each other. The wife can support the husband can support the wife. And families can also support each other when it comes to issues in this marriage. Children born within this marriage they have legitimate status. They have legitimate status because they are born into the marriage. Then divorce follows traditional dispute resolution. There are several customs and ethnic nationalities have the way they resolve their conflicts. Very, very important. So when it comes to issues of divorce, how they do it in that custom is usually very, very important. So that is what regulates them when it comes to divorce. But again, they may go to court, especially if that marriage, their customary marriage, was registered. If it was registered, they can go to court and get a divorce. So what are the challenges? Challenges now in this marriage, there are several challenges also. There is lack of uniformity in customs across ethnic nationalities. There's no uniformity. There is no uniform in one custom or tradition. There's no uniformity. So you can't say what is applicable to this custom is also applicable. So that's also a challenge. Then there's potential of conflicts between customary and statutory marriage. We've talked about statutory marriage before. There's usually conflict between this. Then women's rights and concerns, particularly in polygamous marriages, is also a challenge. What are the rights of women when it comes to polygamy? So that is also a challenge. Then issues of inheritance and succession if the marriage is not registered. If the marriage is not registered, there's issue of inheritance and succession, especially who is going to inherit what. So the question we usually ask here when we come here is, under whose custom and tradition was this marriage even conducted? Because the bride price, which is the consideration for this marriage, is usually based on the woman's custom and tradition. In modern days, they will bring a list. The wife's side will bring a list of the things that they require to be done according to their culture. So the question one will readily ask is, this marriage, under whose custom are they conducting this marriage? Is it under the custom of the wife or under the custom of the husband? Because the husband is the one who is complying with a particular culture. He's complying with the culture of the wife. So what happens when it comes to issues of inheritance or when it comes to issues of divorce? Under whose culture are they going to do the divorce? Is it under the wife's culture? For me, I think it's under the wife's culture. I don't know what you think, but I think it is under the wife. And the children are also regulated by the wife's culture. Because for me, I feel that the consideration was done and everything was done in accordance with the wife's culture, not the husband's culture. So if that is it, the basis for which this divorce or inheritance could relate to the husband's culture, I need to see that next. So if you have anything to say about that, can you put that in the comment for me so that you can enlighten me the more? But for me, I think it is under the wife's custom. So at a point, we may not be far away from saying that many of these children under customary marriage are likely children that should be responsible by their mothers or something. So that is also on a lighter note, but that is subject of research, and we're going to do some research on that and see what this is talking about. So what are the differences now? What are the differences in this customary marriage. What's the difference between a customary marriage and a statutory marriage? Number one feature there is that it is governed by law. The customary marriage is governed by customary or traditional laws, and the statutory marriage is governed by the Marriage Act. Then the next point is number of spouses. In some cultures, a woman can have more than one husband. In some cultures, a man can have more than one wife. So it depends on the culture. It is polygamous in nature, like I said. But under statutory marriage, it is only single, it is monogamous. You can't marry two wives if your marriage is statutory. Then the next one is the marriage has to be registered. Sometimes registration is required in customary marriage, but it's not mandatory. But in statutory marriage, it is mandatory that registration has to be done. Then in customary marriage, there is traditional rites and ceremonies. Ceremonies are done in accordance with the custom and traditions. But in statutory marriage, ceremonies are done either a civil way or in the religious manner, depending on what the people want. So that is it. Then on issues of divorce, the difference is that the divorce is based on customs and traditions, like I asked. And if you have the answer, you can put it in the comment section. Under whose custom are they doing the divorce? Is it under the woman's custom or under the man's custom? So that is also another food for thought that we thought we can bring here. But under the statutory marriage, the divorce takes course. You go to the High Court and then you file the divorce proceedings there, and it takes its course there to the end. So these are some of the things that I would like you to know concerning customary marriage. So thank you so much for watching this video. You can like this video and share. You can leave me a comment, and see you in my next video. Thank you so much, and bye.